and gentlemen, in a word, share.
You think that's bad? Wait till you see this.
Where am I? Who are these two fairies? Wagon wheel with Toozy. Oh, it's a podcast? You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Chermoir, Share the Memoir, the podcast. Part
The
one
musical.
with Bob. I was just about to call you Pob and Fash.
Yeah, that's us, Pub and Fash. Like, remember when I called the forest an office the other week? Yeah.
I do. It seems like minutes ago. With Posh and Fab. I'm Fab. Am I Fab? And you're Posh.
Nobody knows.
No one knows.
The joke is neither of us are really either, but sure.
Exactly. And we've both been married to Georgia at least 3 times by now.
Today. Yeah.
Just today. Yeah. She's been dead for a while. All right. We are reading Cher's memoir. If you're just joining us, why? But thank you. So let's do a recap on what happened in the last chapter and turn back time.
If I could turn back time.
So Cher's gambling junkie dad comes back and then leaves and comes back again.
Yay.
She meets her Armenian family. She gets hit by a nun. Her boobs come in and she gets hit on by old men. She steals a bunch of cars and loses her virginity. It was a lot.
It's a good day. Big day, but good.
It was a very big day.
Yeah.
So because this is also a whopper of a chapter, let's find out what it's like to be Cher and always have been Cher as we look in depth in our posh synopsis.
Please don't look in depth into my posh synopsis. It's less than the sum of its parts. All right.
It's got its own gravity well.
That's where Christine Lardy in space happens. The space avalanche is in there, I could tell you.
Anyone doubts the existence of the space avalanche? Look deep into your posh synopsis.
Yeah.
I'm Cher, and I've always been Cher since I was this big.
Do you regret anything?
Almost everything.
All right. Chapter 8. New York, New York.
Oh, New York, New York.
After an eventful plane trip where Cher and G were in first class, though apparently Gilbert isn't rich enough for Georgia.
Oh.
And Georgia had a full meltdown, which included an oxygen mask.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The family settle in Manhattan. It's like, this is how I had to condense the chapter.
Yeah.
This whole thing happens, and then they settle in Manhattan. Cher discovered she could walk everywhere. No more needing someone to drive her.
Yeah.
Right? How exciting. Everyone seems happy, so surely this won't last long. After accidentally...
When's he going to ask for a threesome?
Yeah, right? With Cher. After accidentally giving herself blonde streaks and seeing snow for the first time,
Amazing.
Cher's invited to a New Year's Eve party by Jesse, the elevator man. I couldn't remember if that's actually what he did, but that's what I remember him doing.
No, yeah,
He's the elevator man.
Yeah. Because back in the old days, there was a man that used to have to turn the handle and stop and start. I'm so relieved that she's rich, or she's staying with a rich man in New York in the snow. Because the last thing we need is her in her poor flappy shoes full of snow.
Snowy flaps. I know.
You don't want to get ice in the
Terrible.
flaps. We know. We've discussed this before.
Too many times, probably.
About 8 too many times.
1,000 too many times. Yeah. But it happens in every book.
It does.
It's
the number one symbol of poverty, flappy shoes.
What do you reckon Jen would get in her shoes, in her flaps, in her flappy shoes?
Oh, she would get
Orange
drink
drink.
in there.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, no. You know.
And she, on the other shoe would have that's the sandwich. It's just a ham sandwich from Subway.
A roll? I thought it was
Might
a
have
ham roll.
been. They call everything a sandwich in America.
Yeah,
for
they're
some
very
reason.
strange.
So at the party, everyone was drinking and smoking in
Orange
great
drink.
outfits, which everyone was drinking orange drink and smoking orange drink in great outfits, which frankly sounds awful. I
does.
don't want to go to that party.
No.
Cher wore fur and smoked, but the party ended after a guy was stabbed. You know, normal New York stuff.
Oh, so tedious when someone
It
gets
was-
stabbed at your
someone getting
party.
Stabbed.
I mean, that happened at my school parties all the time. Someone got pushed into traffic and died. Like, oh my God.
So
I
over
have to go
it.
home now. This is boring.
God. Jessie was nice, but there was no spark. And also, Cher was 15. We keep forgetting this. Jessie was a full-grown adult. But this didn't stop Jessie's friend from asking her out.
Oh.
She said yes, and it seemed like a good idea until she saw his apartment. 1 bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom. So basically a regular New York apartment. But Cher thought it was disgusting.
Well, the bed wasn't made.
It wasn't made and it had a hangy light.
The light had no shade on it.
Which sounds
Like-
exactly like every New York apartment.
I know, but think of who we're talking about. Like,
Yeah. Well,
it's
she lives
not
in a
only-
mansion now.
It's not only Mariah that can't deal with overhead lighting.
Yeah, you're right. It was
Like
the overhead lighting.
a naked bulb. I don't know if you've seen A Streetcar Named Desire, but there's a lot of talk about I can't stand
stare.
the merciless glare of a naked bulb.
I mean, where are the sconces, darling?
Where are the sconces? Yeah. So yeah, I'm with Cher on this being a disgusting apartment.
So look, he had the bad apartment, overhead lighting, and he gave sexually assaulting her a good crack too.
This was one of the most problematic things I think we've read in this book so far, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, they would call that sexual assault now. It's like, it doesn't mean it's not.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You're kind of saying that, oh no, it's fine. It's like
Yeah, it
everyone
was
who
fine
complains
there.
about sexual assault, what are they whinging about? It's like,
I interpreted it more as like her reflecting, going, "Oh yeah, they would call that sexual assault now," but it just came out a little blasé,
yeah.
and I don't think she meant it that way.
She probably
but
didn't, but it
it
felt
did.
like, yeah.
It's like,
I
oh,
felt
are
like,
we just moving past that immediately?
again, this is the problem. Like, she doesn't sit in any of the moments. It's just like,
No.
here's another thing that happened, and I'm Cher.
Yeah. So Cher, she got out of there and vowed to never be in that situation again. Though this would, of
In
course,
bad lighting.
happen again. Bad light. I don't know what to tell you, Johnny's friend, whose name was probably also Johnny.
Yeah.
So it was Jesse, wasn't it? Jesse's friend
was
Johnny.
Jesse.
Yeah. And this is where Cher's like, not only am I getting out of this guy's apartment, I'm also getting out of the chapter and passing to Stephanie.
Oh.
So we're passing to Stephanie.
So even when she said it out loud, did it sound glib? Did it sound like, no, I guess this is what they call sexual assault?
I can't remember, to be honest. It wasn't so glib. It was more sort of matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like, this happened, which now would be sexual assault, and then continue.
Yeah,
But I suppose when you have already been, felt up by your mum's 40-year-old friend in the car, it's, par for the course at this point.
Had your mum's boyfriend say he wants
Is
to
in love with you.
run away with you?
No, I can't get
After
someone to go
having
on an
ice
ice
cream.
cream date with me, let alone fall in love with me, and leave my mother for me. I don't want that. But
When we were at work the other day, my I was going through. We had Georgie Stone as one of the guest hosts on the Mardi Gras, and I was talking about her storylines in Neighbours, and I was like, "Oh yeah, she's been married twice, and they both died." And my boss, Rowdy, who's also gay, he's gone, "What? I can't even get a text back."
Right?
How's she been married twice and she's 24?
No, rude. Well, I mean, her name is Georgie, which is close to Georgia.
Yeah, maybe.
It's
the name. Maybe
It's the name. So this is where Gilbert decides to adopt Cher and G. Though Cher wasn't keen on being known as Cher LaPierre. Although that's
I'm Cher
fun.
LaPierre.
I think that's fun. Gil liked the girls, but was a little square for Cher. Square for Cher.
Square for Cher.
And after years of having to act like an adult, he treated her like a child.
Don't be such a square.
Square. She felt demoted. Gil thought Cher was too young to smoke, and Georgia feigned shock, putting a stop to it. Now, I would just like to point out, Gilbert was kind of correct.
Oh,
even
yes.
though I don't think it's fair to sort of, now I'm the stepdad and I make the rules. I don't think that's fair to someone. But
No.
to actually go, you know what, they are young.
Yeah.
And maybe they need some boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, she was looking after the house when she's 11.
Yeah, maybe let her. And what was odd to me is that Cher doesn't spot this.
No.
You know, she doesn't
Cher
look back
doesn't
and
spot
go,
a lot of things.
No.
Cher doesn't spot her grandmother being absolutely justified in being a total whack job because she was abused from a young age and forced to be a mother at the
age of 11.
before she'd even like had a teenagehood. Like it was.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think Cher. I think Cher should have done some therapy before she.
A little bit of therapy.
Before she did this book, because I feel like you have not worked through any of this.
No.
Like
I feel like
she's
out. Me having written a posh synopsis and just having to barrel through it.
Yes.
She's like just barreling through.
Oh.
So Cher was enrolled in new school number 4,679, showing up in a cab on the first day and nearly getting her ass kicked for not having braved the snow. Cher did not have the street smarts that she needed here. After 3 weeks, she decided to quit. Quit. Gil and Georgia didn't like it, but agreed to let her. Starting to feel lonely, Gil introduced her to Joyce, the daughter of a colleague.
Oh, good. Another new person.
Right. And also kind of not a good influence. But and Joyce introduced Cher to a group of her friends. They'd go shopping and dancing, and Cher got to know New York. Cher would even go to temple with them on Jewish holidays. She was that in.
Bless.
One time, Cher got separated from her friend Barbara, another friend, Barbara Streisand, on the subway. They were on the subway, Jewish holiday, Barbara Streisand. Makes sense. Yeah. They got separated on the subway. At the same moment, the zipper on her pants split, and she felt everyone could see it. Though, if she'd really gotten to know New York, like I feel like this is a pretty normal sight on the subway.
And she's wearing bathers underneath. It's not a problem.
Fine. Go to the beach.
Calm down.
For Cher's 15th birthday, Gilbert took them all
That's the end of that story.
That's the end of that story.
That's what I loved about this.
Yeah.
It's like you go, here's a traumatic thing. It's not really traumatic. It's just a thing.
And now it's
like,
my
where
birthday.
is the... But what's the... Did you... Okay.
Yep.
Did you go to the beach? I don't know.
No one knows. She got back to Barbara's place, I think.
Oh, well, that's fine. Well,
So,
Barbara Streisand had an album to cut at this age, probably.
Exactly. She doesn't give beach, does she?
No, Barbara
Babs at the
Streisand does
beach.
not give beach. Casino, maybe, but not beach.
Yeah, definitely casino. For Cher's, deli, yes. She loves a snack, lunch, post-lunch snack, anything of that nature. For Cher's 15th birthday, Gilbert took them all to see Eartha Kitt, the little lady.
I love Eartha Kitt.
She
was
Catwoman. Cap.
Catwoman.
This was another
evil.
This was another Elvis moment for Cher. And she
it was.
knew she wanted to be on that stage. Sorry, I need to have
And
a sip of
purring.
water.
She wanted to be on that stage. She wanted to be purring. She wanted to be Eartha. I want to be earthy like Eartha.
We need Cher as Catwoman. Meow.
Oh my God. Meow. Can you please lift my tail and lick it? Because I can't bend over that far.
Oh my God.
Why wasn't Cher in Cats? She would have been the best.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, she would have been like,
Scats.
meow. Did you see, like, Ian McKellen is so funny in Cats.
I haven't seen
Like,
that.
he's decided he's a cat. And he behaves like a cat. So does Judi Dench. They're both committed to being cats. But everyone else is like, I'm an amazing dancer in a onesie. And it's like, no. You got to be a cat.
Yeah. I just remember seeing it. Was it Jason Derulo? Is he in it?
Yeah, he's in it.
And he was in the Kelly Clarkson show, our friend Kelly, who's missing at the time of recording. I don't know why everyone's like she's got missing. And she's probably been found now 4 weeks ago. But this is live. So why was I talking about this? Oh, because he was like telling them about the training. It was her and Nicole Byer, and he then just gets down on the ground, and they're all kind of giggling about it, and then he starts doing it, and you can see that they're like, "Oh, this is confrontingly sexual. Like, why am I into this? It needs to stop. Please stop, because I want to fuck the cat man."
He's very hot, and the way they got out of that was by not having the floor anywhere near his feet. So you spent the whole time not looking at him, but going, "Why isn't he on the floor?" Why is the CGI floor nowhere near the CGI cat foot?
Oh, no.
It's so bad.
It's really bad.
It's the worst film ever made. It's amazing. It's like brilliantly shit.
I need to watch it, clearly.
Also, the musical is terrible. Like, it's always been terrible.
Well, again, I've been rewatching Kimmy Schmidt, and how the secret of Cats is that people just join it from the audience.
Yeah.
They just dress up and then get on stage and are now in Cats.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the original production was like the cats came through the audience and it just freaked everyone out and it was amazing. And now that's just like, oh, that's old hat.
yeah, can't do that. Old cat, if you will.
Old cat.
So,
This is a cats podcast now.
yeah, all about cats. On a vacation in Vermont, Gil's daughter and Cher, because we're on vacation now, Gil's daughter and Cher were in a room all the way on the other side of the hotel.
Shut up. Let's play around.
They order a Coke, as in cola,
Yes.
to celebrate. And while sitting around in her underwear, the Cokes were delivered by a certified hottie, an Austrian ski instructor.
What?
Hot.
I've dilated at the thought of that.
Yeah. At dinner that night, she saw him again. They started hanging out and having fun in the grinder kind of way.
Oh.
But when she returned to New York, she was totes over it. Like, that's the whole story.
I
It's
know.
like, I was over it. I went home, I was over it. It's like,
My problem with this whole book is
Yeah.
that all the stories are just this. I need, you know what she needs? She needs a Michaela to go, and?
yes. And then what? And like, of course it's over because it's 1950 something and
That's all there is to it.
you were now in a different state.
Yeah.
Of course it fizzled out. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like a $200 phone call.
Yeah. Cher never told anyone about her age, though looking back, feels that these men should have known she wasn't yet 18, even though she looked older than her age. In her own...
tall.
Yeah, I'm tall. I'm Cher. In her own words, she had a new boyfriend every week. And I said, weekly, speaking as a gay man, isn't as fun as it seems. Like, it seems like a good idea. And then you're like, nah. All those names to remember, and they don't all have posters of themselves on the wall like Adam Richard. You got name dropped.
I had a new boyfriend every week when I was 19.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was open and out and a teenager. Like,
I was out as a teenager, so I never got
Yeah.
to do
it was
any of that.
It was blissful. Like, I
Was
didn't
it?
need to know their names. I
full
was
of
the hot one.
bleals. Full of bleals. Yeah, remembering names is hard. So Georgia
Why do
decided...
you want to know their names? Like,
Right,
really?
no,
I'm
you're
not going
right.
to see them again.
Georgia wanted everyone to dress better to match their new life. This is when Cher discovered it was better to go shopping with men. I'm gonna
Oh
go
my
shopping with men.
God.
They just sit there and let her buy whatever, which is what Gil did. We basically get a Pretty Woman montage in this moment.
Yeah,
Cher gets dresses and heels. It's a whole thing.
it is.
She felt her mum was becoming more unreasonable as she was missing LA. Georgia was missing LA.
Yeah.
Things then came to a head when Cher disagreed with a story Georgia was telling, saying she got a detail wrong. Georgia slapped Cher. It's funny. It's softer if it's a slap. Slapped Cher right then and there, cutting her lip with her ring. She then curb stomped her for good measure. Sometimes I just add things in for myself.
This scene, I was like, why? Like, Cher, if you're correcting your mum in this moment, why is no one correcting you in this whole book?
I know, yeah. It's also another Lifetime movie where the slap happens and then Cher packs herself and G and then goes
G.
and lives a new life.
Yeah.
So Cher grabbed her purse, gave her some money, and she walked out. Georgia couldn't stand another New York winter and demanded to go back to LA. Cher says that Georgia believed that if a man wasn't as rich as she was beautiful, then he didn't deserve her.
What was Johnny about then?
Right? And I said, I guess first-class flights and high-rise New York apartments doesn't equal rich to good old Jackie Jean. So I'm mad at Jackie Jean at this
You are
moment.
mad at Jackie Jean.
And I said, thanks, Grandma Linda, because that's Linda and Georgia through and through right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they got back to LA, Gilbert bought Georgia a Cadillac and a mansion with a pool right near Clark Gable's place. You know, poor people stuff. Poor Gilbert. Pathetic Gilbert with his pretty dress that Cher was mad about. That's a throwback. This meant Cher was sent back to school, because we're at school again now, even though we left.
Yes.
Where the only thing she liked was learning French. Cher did audition for the school play, but was told her voice was too low for the girls and too high for the boys. So she was... The S's are hard when you're saying Cher a lot. So she was shoved into the chorus. Thankfully, Cher made her first gay friend Steve. Cher was cool with... She was cool with the gays, having invented them accidentally one night in her lab. So... She's like, oops,
the imaginary ones.
Yeah. When Steve invited Cher to a gay party, she went because it meant she got to dance. While at the party, after Steve had gotten the courage to talk to a guy, they heard someone shout police and had to jump out the window to escape arrest. Now, this is jumping across to a different book, but I think Patricia may have been the one to call the cops.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Patricia called those cops.
Piggy Patricia,
you know
was
why?
Having a gay party.
Because they weren't all white gay men there.
Oh, no. Bloody Piggy Patricia. Yeah.
Piggy Patricia.
And they didn't want to sleep with her.
No.
That makes sense because they were gay. She's like, oh.
She's like, it's not about me and my paper plates.
You know, my dog hair. God. So they had to jump out the window to escape arrest. Steve was shaken and they drove around for hours, meaning Cher was late home to Grandma Linda's where she was staying that night. Dear. She was grounded but didn't care. She was happy to stay home with one of her other inventions, drawing. Forget, she invents so many things. Gay people, drawing.
She didn't finish any of the drawings, though, because that's why she got paid that money.
Yeah, well, that colour by numbers, that's all you finish.
Yep.
Around this time, Cher was discovered by Tony Mafia, who sketched portraits of the family and took a particular liking to Cher's face. Nobody
is called Tony Mafia. That's a made-up name.
Yeah, Tony
that was
Mafia.
His nickname.
Yeah. Yes, probably. Oh, well, it's Tony Mafia now.
It's Tony Mafia.
Oh, my God. It's reminding me of Alyssa in, what's it called?
Oh, my God, in Elsbeth. Fuck, she was funny.
With fainting in the crowd with her Bible.
The rosary. Oh, is
the rosary? Oh.
Oh, still going. He's still alive. Drop it on the bench.
Yeah, well. We need more. We need part 2. Sorry, where am I? So, old mate Tony Mafia, yeah. So, Georgia sent Cher to a photographer where she met Kojak. I forgot that happened. She meets Kojak, who tries to pass her, but she rolls his eyes, so he doesn't. That's all it takes.
Kojak.
Poor Kojak.
Oh, my God.
But I'm guessing Kojak must have been around her age. It was before Kojak.
Like, yeah, it was before. Although,
so might have been a bit more okay.
When are we, like late 50s? Yeah. He was a Bond villain.
Let's Google. Hang on.
One of those.
I don't know how to spell.
I think he was probably about 10 years older than her, maybe. So still inappropriate.
Oh yeah, 1922. And when was Cher born?
1100.
1946. So he was a good 20 years older. Okay, still creepy. What a name, Telly Savalas.
I love Telly Savalas.
So, anyway, Cher rolled her eyes and it fixed it.
Yep.
Cher's face was plastered all over Martoni's restaurant, having sat for several murals Tony was commissioned to create.
Yep.
While there one night, she met Nino Tempo. And while 13 years older, she liked him. Oh. It was still the youngest man who'd ever hit on her. But as they got close, his music producer friend flew in and took up all his time.
Yeah.
His name was Phil Spector. And as we discovered on the Mariah podcast, his biggest crime was having crazy hair. Do you remember?
Also, being responsible for River Deep Mountain High and not saying no to Salim and she wanted
yeah, that's his other crime. They're the 2 crimes he committed in his life. When I was a little girl. Nino was so busy working for Phil that he barely saw Cher. At first, Cher didn't believe him and thought he was seeing someone else. She cracked it. So Nino took her to meet Phil, and she didn't like him or the way he stared at her.
Or his hair.
His crazy hair. Phil sang Lady...
In 40 years he's going to murder his wife.
Also that. Cher had she's like That's So Raven. She just had a flash and saw it all. So when they meet, Phil sings Lady Marmalade at her and she replies, oui, pour l'argent, meaning yes, for money. Which I had to Google what it meant. I was like... Because, Cher going, Oui, pour l'argent.
Pour l'argent.
Pour l'argent. Cher then splits up with Nino, and he was heartbroken.
He was.
He was heartbroken. Cher just couldn't
Get his little
believe,
pedophile dream come true, and it never
No.
happened. So sad.
and she couldn't believe that he was working as a babysitter for a full-grown man. But she was happy for him when he won a Grammy that year.
What is
Sure.
going on? Like,
I know. This is normal for Cher. She just, maybe that's part of why she just glosses over things, because it was just normal for her to be dating a 30-year-old getting a Grammy. Like, oh yeah, whatever, on to the next. Like, that does
On
seem
to
like
the
her
next.
personality. So
Yeah.
maybe this is exactly how she tells stories, and that's it.
Yeah.
We just have to get on board. Back in LA, being back in LA meant Cher had to get her license in order to have a life. She failed the first time, but got it on the second time. By now, Cher had left school again after being suspended for refusing to take off her sunglasses in class, just like breakfast at Tiffany's. She decided to go to acting school instead. One night, Cher was okay. Speaking of just going into some other random story. One night, Cher was cut off on the road, by none other than Warren Beatty of Annette Bening
God.
fame. So... Cher was mad, but then decided to date him instead.
yeah. Well, she does do a lot of revenge rooting. So
She does.
Revenge dating is also
Yep.
probably in her playbook.
He got her cigarettes and invited her back to his place. He, an attractive 25-year-old actor known for dating many attractive women. And Cher, a child. I just want to point that out.
An actual underage person.
Actual underage person. And this is where I say, side note, I'm obsessed that this book is basically just Cher inserting herself into famous people's lives as if she's on an episode of Wishbone, or that one episode of S Club 7 in Miami where they go back to the 60s and meet Cher. It's like, it's all happening. She's like, oh, we'll just throw Warren Beatty in there. Yeah, we haven't, yeah. Adam wants more camp moments. So
He does. That'll do it.
So back at Warren's, they've known each other for 14 minutes. And they're at Warren's place and they kiss and then they go swimming. Cher even wore Natalie Wood's bathing suit, which was said to be brand new as she wasn't much of a swimmer.
Oh, wow. That is...
It's been like 80 years. Everyone calm down. We've edited out other problematic jokes that I've made. But this one's been a minute. I'm sorry to Natalie Wood's entire family. Google it. It's a fun story. It's not a fun story. I actually thought she was missing still, but she's not. I did find her.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my head. She was like Amelia Earhart. I always get those two confused. I was like, which one did number 2 from Austin Powers marry? You know, like Amelia Earhart. Natalie
Amelia
Wood.
Earhart or Harold Holt. One of
But
those.
even take the joke out. She actually wasn't fond of swimming, so
No.
why would she have a bathing suit?
None of
When
us.
Cher got home at 4 a.m., Georgia was mad and grounded her until she was 21, even though she wasn't meant to live that long, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Until the next day when Warren called and suddenly Georgia was squirting directly down the phone at him. I had to win everyone back after Natalie. Natalie Basingthwaite's
Natalie
swimsuit. She's in this too. They they went out a few more times, but the last time he called, she had met Sonny, and that was that.
Yeah.
All right, we've got one last moment in this.
Oh my God, how? How is
Cher
there
was
more?
right. Cher was going to acting class with actor and coach Jeff Corey. Jeff didn't think she had any life experience, but Cher called bullshit after a side quest tour of Mice and Men. Cher was
was a side
quest. Cher was allowed into the class. Do you know in year 10 we had to watch and read, like both watch and read of Mice and Men, and it
Oh, did
bored
you
me
have to watch
so.
was it the Malkovich and Gary Sinise?
I think so. I think we read the book first and then watched the movie.
Yeah.
Both bored me so much that I just did my assignment off of everything the teacher had said and just regurgitated his words back to him and got an A.
Yeah, I did that for The Great Gatsby.
Right? No one actually
Like
knows
my
these
teacher,
ones.
like I got like an A+, and my teacher's like, I feel there's just something missing, Adam. I'm like, well, but everyone got their marks today. And she's all right, your mark will stand, but can I take it home and read it on the weekend? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then on the Monday, she came back and she's like, she asked me a couple of questions. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. She goes, you haven't read the book? I'm like, no. Just the bits in class.
Yeah, just the bits in class.
She's like, and I gave you an A+. I'm like, yep, I'm that
A good writer. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that's what she said. She goes, your writing's amazing, but there's just something bothering me. And like, yeah, no, I didn't read it.
Yeah. So after the little sojourn of Mice and Men
Of
Land,
Mice and Menland.
Cher was allowed into the class. Jeff was tough on her, but he said it's because she was the best in the class and his favourite. At this time, though, Georgia was once again unhappy and continued to remind Cher that any problems she had were nothing compared to almost being gassed by your father. Even though, you know,
Nearly burned to death.
Cher's dad nearly killed her in a fire. But whatever you say, Georgia.
Whatever, George.
Cher knew that her childhood wasn't as bad, but was frustrated at not being able to share her own pain. So she just stopped talking. She'd be polite, but offer nothing else. She'd only open up to G, who would keep her nose in books, avoiding their mother in her own way. Which Cher's like, yeah, maybe that's what she was doing. Like, all easy. Like, oh, maybe that's why she read so many books.
It also does explain why there's no emotion in any of these stories.
Right?
Like, it's like, well, I just cut myself off emotionally from all this stuff because I couldn't talk to anyone about it. So now they're just facts.
Yep.
They're just dot notes in a document that I dictated to some poor bitch.
That now Stephanie has to read. Someone else has to read. When Cher's birthday came around, I'm guessing 16, I don't think she says, Gil gave Cher a $100 bill. That was the week she packed her bags and left home. Gil rented Cher an apartment with Josita, which it is Josita, just so you know.
Okay.
Because it reads like Josita, but it's Josita.
Josita.
Their 22-year-old German maid who was terrible at her job and, according to Georgia, couldn't find her own ass with both hands.
Oh, wow. Georgia.
Like in The Sound of Music, Cher made outfits out of drapes, and then both girls had to get jobs to pay their rent.
No,
Cher-
what? You have to get a job to pay your rent?
I
This is
know.
unheard of.
Disgusting.
Someone needs to talk to my tenant.
Where's the man to do the maths? Well, Gil was paying for most of it. Cher got a job as a clerk punching time cards at a department store, but math made it impossible for her to stay.
Yeah.
And so she just left. She's like, I'm done.
I don't know the numbers. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. She then worked in a candy store, which was better, but Cher didn't like having to serve the rich bitches who didn't like her fingering their sweet treats. He just took a sip too. Don't squirt. Cher would go dancing and usually forget to eat. She would sometimes get sick too if she overdid it. At one point, she got mono.
Oh.
I don't remember when or why. And around this time, she got hepatitis and had to quit the job at the sweet place.
Oh, no, because of the hepatitis.
Hepatitis.
So
She,
it's got hepatitis, can't come in.
Yeah, it's too math math. So she met a guy called Red who worked as a jazz promo guy. With Josita having fled the country, so we get Josita for about 2 seconds,
Why?
and then she flees the country
Why
to be
has
with a
Josita
guy.
left?
Some boyfriend.
Right.
But yeah, that's all we know. Cher couldn't afford the apartment, and Red suggested she move in there until she got better because she didn't want to go home.
No.
So she was sick for a good little, 2-week period, and she started to wonder what was next. She said she had nothing to show for her 16 years on the planet, which is a wild statement. I've been on this planet for 16 years. What have I done?
What have I done? I've only got 8 chapters worth of trauma.
Right? Someone recently said, I've been working, because let's say they were 30. They're like, I've been working for 30 years to do this. I'm like, no, you've probably been working for 10 years on it. Yeah. You don't think you start the second you walk out of your
You didn't climb out of a
parentals.
vagina and start doing your job, mate.
Yeah. She knew she couldn't rely on acting for steady work, and her voice didn't fit in anywhere. And we finished the chapter with Cher wondering what will become of her. And sadly, we never find out. And that is the end of Cher, the memoir.
No.
We just don't know. What happened to this? It's like the Diary of Anne Frank. What happened?
You are a silly. That was a lot. I'm frankly exhausted, and we should get out of here and get our opinions.
It's my professional opinion.
It's professional opinion time.
What is your professional opinion on Chapter 8?
So I feel like this is similar to the previous chapter in terms of giving us pretty solid detail.
Yes.
But I felt that this one was a little less affecting. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't sort of feel as much. I said maybe I'm just getting bogged down in the triggering family dramas.
Yeah.
But I just found it a little harder to get through. Even though chapter 7 was a lot, it did flow a little bit better. This one, I found myself going, okay. Because there maybe weren't as many discoveries in the paragraphs. There was as many paragraphs, but there wasn't quite as much that held you to them.
Yeah, and also like things that should have had kind of like an impact, like losing your virginity in the last chapter.
Was that in this chapter? Oh, that was last chapter.
No, that was the last chapter.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you kind of want there to be some realization or some kind of emotional attachment or revelation.
Or reflection.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, but I think as, you know, going through it, we've realised that she just picks up her purse and leaves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what she's doing with all of these stories is like, this happened and I decided that I'm not dealing with it and on to the next thing.
Yeah. And I feel like she does need to go back and deal with quite a number of these things.
Yeah.
Because they feel
It's a
undealt
therapy.
with. I think a lot of therapy for this one. Yeah, I was the same. Although I was very excited that Cher finally met a real life lumberjack
Yes.
with a box full of buttons.
Yeah. Finally.
Finally. You know, but again, so much. And the weird thing is it makes no sense because she's about the same age as my grandmother was when she was in the home and in real life. And Nan would talk for 3 hours about bed bugs.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
sure.
you know, and what a trauma that was because they were poor and blah. Like, and it would be a whole thing. And she would paint the picture of what it was like living in Carlton in the 30s. And you just got this amazing kind of insight into life back then. But all we're getting is a list of shops that were open back then that are now iconic. Oh, we went to that bowling alley, which is now iconic. We went to that diner.
I put some dresses
which is
on.
Now iconic, except the one next door that Frank Sinatra went to. That's more iconic.
Yes.
Like we're getting all that bullshit, and it's like there's just shops. Like it's just names of shops, names of people. Like I love that I mean, like who did we get in this? We got Kojak. Trying to read it. We got Clark Gable's horses. We got
Warren
Phil
Beatty.
Spector.
Yes.
We got Warren Beatty. We got Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
Who she didn't even meet because he was at the other deli.
Yeah.
Just-
With Barbara.
With Barbara. It's like an Agatha Christie movie. Like there's so many celebrities in it. I'm like, which one's going to die?
All of them. Spoiler.
All of them.
All of them.
It's so... But yeah, like you're right. There's no sitting in anything. There's no being in a moment or feeling anything.
No, keep going.
So yeah, it's sad. It's unsatisfying, but also, you know, because I'm shallow, I love all the
You
names.
still enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah. It's still fun.
It's still fun.
Yeah.
And yeah. And also, like, wildly problematic about her mum going, what? Warren Beatty, of course. Stay out all night.
No, squirt. Yeah.
It's not okay. What score did you give this one?
I've gone back to a 7.
Yeah.
I still felt, it was still fun. It was still stuff. It just felt a bit, especially in a row. A few full-on long chapters in a row.
So much.
Yeah.
I wanted more on the gay party. It's like, we went to gay party. I went, what was it like?
Yeah, well, even that, detailing,
what was it like to be at a
being
gay
gay was
party?
illegal. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. I can't go below 8 for so many celebrities.
Okay.
And also...
I forgot that this is your criteria.
Yeah. Like, I've got to have
What's the top?
celebrities. It's got to be camp. We went to a gay party. Like, it can't get camper than that. I just want full gay share moments. But yeah, so I'm an 8 just because it was like an Agatha Christie movie.
Fair. I'd watch the
Murder
movie.
on the Cher Express.
Yes. Oh my God, can you imagine? Two bitches. It would be a lot.
Would be so much.
All right. Is it
let's-
time to...
Yeah, let's rewind and
tale?
remix.
all right.
All right, this is where we work out how we would have done things differently.
If I could turn back down.
Mine is a quick one, and it's almost sort of touching on how you have done the remix, which is more about the chapter itself.
Yeah.
Rather than an action that happened within it. And so for me, I would have just chopped this chapter down to life with Gil, Gil in New York
Yep.
and the acting class. We need to know that she's gone to acting class.
Yeah.
That's where the bulk of it was for me. Those are the things that kind of moved us forward.
And I love,
So,
just
yeah.
in case we're getting bored, she reminds us she's got an Oscar.
Yeah. Remember?
Just remember, I've got an Oscar.
One of those.
Like, I mean, heaps of his students have Oscars, so now so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very similar, but it's more, I've never had a story that I wanted more juice on. Because I'd go, if only there was more juice on some of these stories, but there's not one that I really care enough about to have more juice.
Yeah.
I absolutely want more juice on the Warren Beatty story.
Yeah.
Because, so they kissed
Yeah.
and they went swimming.
Yeah.
And
And what
somehow
happens on swims in Cher's family?
why did that take until 4 a.m.?
Right?
Like, that's the bit that I don't get. And I'm like, is she hedging because he's still alive and she was underage?
Yeah, possibly.
Because I feel like there was, like, you don't get home at 4 a.m. from, like, I could easily go out and root someone and be home in time for dinner.
Yeah.
But I was only out to 4 a.m. if I was at a sauna.
I will say though, the one person I would give an exception to is Cher. I can imagine her just being like, "Well, I want to swim." Like,
Yeah.
I can imagine her being like, "I'm actually swimming," and then we'll talk
I'm
for a bit.
actually
Yeah, okay,
swimming.
you can kiss me, but I just want to swim.
I want to swim. You've got a pool. I told you I would sell G for a pool.
Yeah. So part of me does, and I think people would find
why
her
didn't we
fascinating.
Why didn't we get a call back to that? Why didn't we get a
Yeah.
call back to selling G for a pool? It's
Yes.
like Warren had a
Yeah.
pool. I can't say no to a pool. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we're not getting that
Yeah.
connective tissue.
And it's funny because that is usually how Cher talks.
Yes.
She will often on, these little Graham Norton kind of shows.
Yeah.
make
She's a great
quips of that.
storyteller. I
Yeah,
know.
of that nature.
And I feel like that's missing. So did you have a rename?
I did. And we're back to, childhood story books, except this one is a little bit more... This is the movie rather than the paperback book.
Yeah.
It's Cher Takes Manhattan. It's like the book series for kids has come out, and then they're like, we're going to make a movie about it.
Yeah.
And we're calling it Cher Takes Manhattan.
Amazing.
And I did recently see a thing about the Muppets, and I wish I could remember where it came from, but they were talking about, green lighting a TV show that it just had Miss Piggy in it,
Oh, yeah.
and no one mentions that she's a Muppet. Like, she's
amazing.
just a cast member in the show. So I wish I remember where that came from, but I loved it.
I would love that. Did you ever see that Muppets Now, whatever it was called? It was on Disney Plus for a little while. It was like a lockdowny kind of thing.
Because we couldn't afford Disney, so we didn't usually have... Like, Muppets actually weren't a big part of my...
Oh, no, I meant recently.
No, I know, but just I don't have that same connection that everyone else has.
Yeah. Well, it was very funny that they would do, like, Miss Piggy would have these Zoom meetings, and it would just be so she could hang out with Linda Cardellini. And then she would have other Muppet guests, and she's like, "Shut up! It's just me and Linda. You're just here for looks."
Oh my god, I do love all the clips of her with Joan Rippers.
Oh my god,
They're very
so
fun.
funny. I lost that. I went to see that in the cinema. I'm very old. So mine are always songs.
Yes.
And again, while there are a lot of names in this, it's still not quite camp enough, even though they did go to a gay party.
Okay.
So I've given it one of the gayest songs of all time as a title, which is by someone called Patsy Garrett. But if you don't know it, I want you to go and look it up after this episode so you can understand the level of camp that I'm talking about. It's a song called From New York to LA.
All right.
because the actual like kind of chorus is from LA to New York, from New York to LA, and I'm like, that's what happened in this chapter.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is my rename. Let's.
What did you say her name was?
Patsy Garrett.
It's not Patsy Gallant or Gallant?
Oh, maybe it's me.
Yeah. I was just looking it up. Patsy Gallant or Gallant.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time to head to the Tits on the Back and get our shareisms out.
If I want to put my tits on my back, it's nobody's business but my own.
Hit me with the tit on your back.
Look, I've got two. One of them is not technically shares, and it's
Okay.
not even George's who says it. It's just a saying,
Yes.
which is ridden hard and put away wet.
Hot. Yeah. You'd want to be wet after that.
After being
you're
ridden
not,
hard,
you'd
yeah.
be
Like
upset.
otherwise,
What's the
ow,
point?
sandpaper.
Ow, yeah.
What is your what is your shareism?
Mine is very much something we touched on a couple of episodes ago, which is sort of about Cher and her personality, which is, it didn't help that I was a messy teenager. I still am.
That was my second one.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if she meant she's still messy or still a teenager.
I
but
think
she's
I
from
took
the
it
neck
as
up.
kind of both.
Yeah.
But definitely teenager. She's still a teenager for sure.
Yeah. Amazing. We are being so simpatico on these. It's
Right?
weird. Because the Mariah ones only like synced up like twice, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't do it
And we
very
used to do
often.
votes on them. It was a lot of
yeah,
extra
it was
work that I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah, let's not do that ever again. All right, let's get some fluff and crap and go home.
Fluff and crap.
Love and crap.
What fluff and crap have you got for us?
I don't have anything this week other than, check out the old Christine Lardy, because don't forget she's dropping soon.
Oh, yeah, she drops on Thursday. And also, if you have anything, feel free to send us an email.
Yes,
You can
comments,
leave a
queries.
comment on our YouTube channel. You
Yep.
can send us a message via our
Instagram.
Instagrams. We've got all the
Glitter Plus.
things. You can go to linktree/Glitter Plus.
Yep.
And that'll take you to all the places you need to find us.
Yep. All
It's
the
amazing.
pluses.
All the pluses. But yes, Glitter Plus continues on Thursday, and then we'll be back for more share next week.
Oh.
Bye, lovelies.
Bye. Where am I? Who are these two fairies? Wagon Wheel with Toozy. Oh, it's a podcast? You've got to be fucking kidding me. You know when you get a bit of coconut or something? It feels like that.
Yes. Or slide sperm.
No, that's not going anywhere near my face.
But it's really good for your skin. Look at me. 29.
That's why my chest looks 19. my décolletage.
This is going at the end of the episode.
I was going to find out where I was.